Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 3:35, and we are here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Rubbins Racin 50. Hi there, I'm your host Noah Walter, and this is the first time with a webcam. Got 35 followers here on Twitch. Thank you very much for all of your follows. I do appreciate it greatly. We're here about to get started as we roll into the qualifying. We're going to be following along at first with David Gibbs, who is leading the practice session for Bristol. David here with ERA Sim Sports is going to be riding in his cheesy Berber paint. I think we've seen him run in paints like these in the past, and needless to say, David is one of our absolute fastest drivers here in the Frankenstein Metalworks Cup Series. Now, because of our sponsor, Frankenstein Metalworks Cup Series, you probably should check out our sponsor, Frankenstein Metalworks. They are out at facebook.com/Frankenstein Metalworks, and that's where you can get all of your great custom home products that he offers. Well, there it is. That's going to be your first lap, and that's currently David Ackenbauer setting up a fastest time. Let's bring up our qualifying board. Got a decent amount of field here tonight for these guys, and I think it's going to be awfully quick. That's David Gibbs with a 14.6. That's awfully quick. Skim of the wall there, very common, and that's going to absolutely not help him in the slightest, but that has been his qualifying, and a 14.6, that's going to keep him at the top of the board for the moment. He's able to celebrate with that cheesy Berber paint of his. In any case, I think it is going to be an absolutely fantastic race here tonight. We have, as I said before, a pretty good field, and these guys are absolutely capable of doing a lot of great things. Here's Marshall Harris. He was a good contender in 2 weeks ago's race at Texas Motor Speedway. And let's see. He's currently riding in 4th. Not a bad spot for him. Make sure you check out his Twitch there. That's LA Kings. I think he's going to appreciate that. Jacob McMillan comes in with the 2nd place for the moment. I think that is most of our drivers already gone through. It's pretty impressive that they're able to go so quick. But it is Bristol, though. These guys do not take a lot of time to get around this racetrack. That's why I'm actually really excited to see what the 50 miles we have and 100 laps is going to end up being like. You know, it's not very often that we get to have such a long amount of laps and a short amount of race because it's only half a mile circuit. But I think it's going to absolutely prove interesting, especially with that top groove being the dominant one. But we've seen other drivers, like David Gibbs there, able to dive down and really make something happen. Well, as we move into our race session in just a couple minutes, I'll be right back. Well, thank you to all of our viewers that have come out today. I do appreciate it. I know it's a bit silly as I'm out here wearing a tie and looking all professional, but only here to dress to impress. You know how it goes. Anyway, well, we got our drivers out into the field. Let's take a look at what they're doing. All right, now we're with Marshall Harris, but let's take a run through with our grid. So, in the first row on the inside lane is going to be number 88 of David Gibbs with a 14.6. On his outside is going to be the 99 of Jacob McMillan. Then in the second row on the inside lane, that's going to be number 13 of David Ackenbauer. Then on his outside is going to be the 97 of Marshall Harris that you're seeing right there. Then in the row behind them, in the inside lane, that's going to be the 96 of Jose Benales. On his outside is going to be Will Cloud. Then in the fourth row on the inside lane, that's going to be Bryn George with Jesse Atkinson on his outside. Then finally bringing up the rear of the field, that's going to be Jackson Qualley. I don't know about you guys, but I am awfully excited to see what everyone out here is going to be able to do. Everyone here is so capable, as we've seen in the past. It's going to be awfully cool. Here's David Ackenbauer here. Got a lot of Cheez-It pants out here once again. Always do. ERA Sim Sports. I think it's going to make a... Now, Bristol, with its high banking and narrow surface, is going to make this racetrack very difficult to pass and to race cleanly. So, there's a reason why it's called the Rubbins Racin. Let's see how it goes as we come around Bristol one more time before the green. There's Dave W. Thomas riding up the rear there with his new paint that he revealed just lightly the other day. Lights are off on the pace truck. It's almost time to get going. We'll make sure during some cautions, we'll see if we have some time to bring up a few drivers for some interviews. After the race, we'll of course have our usual interviews. Alright, that's going to be the pace truck off. They come into the green. There it is. Green flag. And away we go here at Bristol. That's already a wreck. Phenomenal. Literally on the start. How did I know? Oh, that's Bristol for you. Looks like David Gibbs off to a good start with Jacob McMillan also able to stay out of it. Dave Thomas. Nope. Dave Ackenbauer also riding up in the third position. All right. I'm going to go take a look at that wreck, and I'll be right back. So this right here probably has to be one of my absolute most favorite shots I have ever seen. Keep an eye on that 97 and the 48 there. They're going to be on the outside line. So as a click play here. Synchronized spin. Wow. Wow. That did not take long. Looks like Will got a little bit worse off of it, as well as Dave W. Thomas. Wow. That's impressive. I'm surprised they were able to do it that quickly and get in that much trouble that fast. Well, for that one, it looks like the number 48 and the 97 are both going to be getting EOL penalties, as they were ones that even caused that straight from the start. It shocks me how like in sync that was. It was not a challenge for either one of them to stay out of sync, as they both just went straight into the wall. I guess it happens here in the Frankenstein Middleworks Cup Series. In any case, it's going to be a great way to get going once again here at Bristol. Hunter Terpstra is currently riding in the fastest lap, as we've only rode under caution so far. So I think as we go on, we're going to see that time cut down by at least 10 seconds. In any case, I believe they are now 2 wide as we're about to go into the restart. David Gibbs will be leading the field with David Ackenbauer on his inside. He does get lane choice. I haven't had a chance to put up the ticker yet. That's how long this has been. 6 laps under caution, though. That's, I mean, it only shows how fast the caution laps are, but also just how long you do have to wait. All right, that's going to be the pace truck off. Green flag, and away we go here at Bristol Motor Speedway once again. Here we are now. David Gibbs off to a fantastic start, able to ride that high line, absolutely pulling away Bryn George, not even competitive, to see how fast David Gibbs is pulling away. Ackenbauer and George there now catching up. Jackson Qualley also joining them in that 98 machine, trying to catch up as much as he can as well. Hunter Terpstra currently riding in 5th. He's keeping up that pace as well. So is Marshall Harris in that 97 machine. These guys are moving. Jacob McMillan up to the rear, though. Not an absolute last, but he's currently riding pretty far back. Will Cloud and Dave W. Thomas are your current drivers, 1 lap behind. David Gibbs still absolutely pulled away. Over half a second gap he has on 2nd and 3rd. What a move. Riding in 3rd is Bryn George, someone we haven't really seen too much in the series so far, but here he is in that number 8 machine, currently riding ahead of Jackson Qualley, who has not made too many starts here in the Frankenstein Metalworks Cup Series, but is trying to catch up. That's Bryn, down below that number 13 of David Ackenbauer, and has gotten through. Jackson Qualley now moving from ERA Simsports, where he was the last couple of seasons due to some scheduling conflicts, now up into 2K Racing, which is renamed from Extreme Racing. That's David Ackenbauer getting awfully close to Bryn there as he skims into the wall. That's dangerous. I don't know if that's a move I would want to make myself, but he does have to be clear of that. Bryn George is currently riding in the fastest lap with a 14.9. I think David Gibbs, he's probably saving to make sure that he can make sure he gets around this racetrack quite quick. David Ackenbauer into the wall again. You can see that high line there. It is faster than the bottom line, but it looks like Bryn has a bit more speed as there's a little bit of contact there between the 8 and the 13 there. They got to be careful. What are they doing? I don't know if I would want to be in that fight right there. 11 drivers in the field. You can see most of them on that top 10 board there. A little bit further back, you can see Jacob McMillan here is currently now going up to see if he can get by Hunter Terpstra. He does quite quickly, but now he has to make sure that Terpstra not only does not wreck him, but also he has to keep Marshall behind too. Jesse Atkinson, also not doing great, is currently riding in 8th position with that Atkinson Designs team, also running that high line, trying to get through. Hunter Terpstra, I thought he'd be further back by now, but he's currently holding his own, able to stick to that high line, and has not caused a wreck yet. Props to him. That's Marshall Harris, though. After hitting that wall, looks like he lost his front end. Will Cloud diving down, trying to see if he can get a dive bomb in on that 21 machine. That's 127 up to the high line, shooting past. Can Jesse get through? That's a bump into the 21 there. Jesse Atkinson does not care about his feelings and wants to get through. Will moving up a little bit. Hunter has got to be careful. He's currently riding in 6th, but he has a ton of people vying for that spot. They're 2 wide behind him. He's got to be careful. That's Marshall Harris entering the fray too. Are they about to enter 3 wide? No, that's going to be Hunter Terpstra into the wall. Jesse Atkinson moves down. Will bumps into Terpstra. Again, Terpstra is going to have some rear end damage on that one. That's Jesse Atkinson, Marshall Harris, and that is now Jose Benales all the way through. Will Cloud going on the outside as well. Hunter Terpstra, after a ton of bumps, is now going to be slowed down and moved to the rear there. What a move. Yeah, they did not want to have Hunter keep that one. You can see how much he was holding them up to. You can see this guy's absolutely pulling away. And when I say pulling away, I mean like Jesse Atkinson, who now has a huge gap against Marshall Harris and continues to make it grow. Jacob McMillan, though, who got through a lot earlier, is keeping a huge gap on David Ackenbauer, who skimmed the wall a handful of times. There it is. That's Bryn George now going under attack onto the 88 machine with 17 of Jackson Qualley right behind him. They got to be mindful of who they're going to attack here. David Gibbs, who's been leading this race from the very start, it does not want to give that position up easily. Team right him up there. He's still moving. He's going very quick. That's one of the things that Bryn and Jackson have to worry about now, is if they're going to eat up their tires too much, that is going to put some major pressure on David, but can favor David in the long run. They got to keep that in mind. Because as much as it is tempting to just shoot by and take that position early, it can absolutely screw them over later. Very zoomed in there. Not a great camera. I do not like that. Well, you do get some good shots there, like that number 17 Camry right there. You can see just right there how fast that high line is. You're able to just move much faster. All right, that's going to be the caution out once more. All right, I'm going to have to go find out what that caution was for, and I'll be right back. All right, I grabbed it right here. It was a bit difficult to find as this track is so small and not everything is very easy to discover exactly where it is. All right, so here we are. We're going to be on the backstretch, I believe this is, and we're going to be following with a 96 of Jose Ackenbauer into the wall. David gets into the back of him, does not have much time. Jose gets in the back of him, I mean, and that causes out the caution right there. Unfortunate, but it is something that happens here at Bristol. Well, with what we've seen so far, it absolutely has been an eventful race, and these guys have a lot of laps left to go. Lap 28 so far, still. Just a lot of stuff going on. It looks like Jackson Qualley is still going to be a very competitive racer in this race. David Gibbs has led almost every single lap, but has not really gotten it now due to that caution coming out. It is difficult to do when all there is just constant issues plaguing your chances of winning. Still, I recommend you check out our Redbubble shop, which can be accessed through the Discord available in my Twitch description, so you can get great mugs just like these. I know I've said it before where I'm drinking out of it, but it's real. I am. Also, make sure you check out our sponsor, Frankenstein Metalworks Custom Home Decor, at facebook.com/FrankensteinMetalworks. They provide great racing and a lot of amazing products you can have just with you. Anyway, well, we're coming back into the field now. We can see all these guys coming on through. Pace car there. Jackson Qualley is going to be taking that high line. We saw David Gibbs take the high line before, and it might be the right move to do once again. Although, I have seen Jackson in other series get a little bit slow on those restarts. So, if he's going to be slow on the restart, then I think it's going to be an opportunity for David Gibbs to come up and take that lead once more. All right, there it is. That's going to be the pace car off. There it is. Green flag, and away we go. That's Jackson Qualley. I shouldn't have said anything. Absolutely flying away. David Gibbs off to a good start, though. Bryn George looks like he's going to be a sleeper on this restart. A little bit further behind, not quite up with the same level of speed. Marshall Harris, though, coming in with a lot of speed, looking to want to see if he can take away that 8th position of 3rd place. He's got that podium. He wants it. Hunter Terpstra riding in 5th, ahead of drivers once again. Is Hunter going to keep throwing those blocks like he did before? I don't think he pitted this time by. Having that is going to make it absolutely interesting as these guys continue to race here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You do not want to get in the way of multiple drivers, as these guys will absolutely destroy you for it. Jackson Qualley now setting the fastest lap of the race. He has decided that now is his time to absolutely pull away. You can see that gap he has there. Not huge like David had on the first couple laps of this race, but it absolutely is big. That's Bryn George now with the fastest lap of this race. 2K Racing drivers taking away those fastest laps. Marshall Harris still riding in 4th place, trying to see if he can keep that good gap between him for your top 3 and your bottom 5. Anything below your 5th place, I should say. Alright, that's going to be another caution coming out. Not quite sure what caused that one this time. Time for me to take another quick little breather and see what exactly caused it. Alright, so I have the cause of your caution right here, and this one is a little bit on the nose here. So that's Ackenbauer on the outside there. That's Jose Benales on the inside lane. Jose just comes up and kills him. Takes him out of the race. I just looked at it from the cockpit perspective. He just turns his car into him. Not cool. Alright. Yeah, that kind of, like, action is really, like, not cool. So that's going to be his singular warning. You don't do that stuff in this kind of series. People are trying to take it seriously, and just murdering drivers just because, you know, they got in your way a couple laps earlier is not okay. We'll see if he's able to keep racing, and if he wants to cause any more issues, then, well, the cool part about this series is that you don't have to take it. So, anyway, I don't know about you guys, but it's, well, out of a 100-lap race, 3 cautions at Bristol is not terrible. I've seen a lot worse, and I've race controlled for a lot worse too. So I think these guys are doing okay so far. They could be doing a little bit better, but from what I've seen a lot worse. Still, be good to see these guys getting through. Jackson Qualley is still going to be your leader. He's absolutely come out, and it looks like last time, didn't really catch it on the stream too much, but it looks like Bryn was able to get a better shot, and that Jackson did jump the start a bit, something that we do not really permit here. That is something that's kind of different. You actually have to make it on the green. But those are the rules. But what can you do? In any case, these guys are going to keep racing here, and it's going to turn out okay. Still, it's going to be good to see when we get back into green. The lights on the pace truck are off, so let's join back in to see what's going on. All right. You can see your drivers there. That's going to be Marshall Harris coming up into second place. Jackson Qualley in first. Marshall has to be a bit mindful. You know, he's got David behind him, who's awfully quick, but David wants to give him a little bit of a bump first. That's the great thing about everyone in here is we're mostly all just friends with each other, so you don't have to worry about too much if someone wants to, you know, just give the back end a little bit of a kiss as you're going through. All right, that's going to be the pace truck off. Green flag, and away we go here. That's Marshall off to, oh, that is a wiggle if I've ever seen one. That is another wiggle. Can he hold it? He does. He does hold it just barely. If he had caused that one, that would be a disqualification as that's 2 cautions brought out. But he holds it. That's what happens when you don't pit, is you bring out cautions because your tires are too dead. He floored it just a bit too quick. Good on him for saving that, though. That is mighty impressive. He was able to keep it. Jackson Qualley, though, up into first position and is able to keep it on a much better start. See him there. Will Cloud is going to be riding in second position behind him. You can see there, oh, that's David Gibbs on his outside. Going to take that position away. Jesse Atkinson riding in fourth. We have not seen him much in this series either, and I think Jesse now is realizing that he wants to take away that podium position if he can get it. Will has damage. Jesse does not look like he has too much. Just a bit of front-end damage caused by a couple of little incidents where you just bump a little people. It happens. Jacob McMillan riding in 5th place. Keeping ahead of Hunter Terpstra, who's been awfully competitive this race. We've not seen that too much in the past, where Hunter's been like overly competitive. But Hunter's trying to step it back here as he keeps himself into the top 10. That's Bryn George by him, though, as they continue to race on through. See Will Cloud there with Jesse Atkinson behind him. Let's jump back in the field a little bit. We can see Jacob McMillan there. He has a big gap, trying to keep everyone else behind him if he can. Riding in 5th spot, that's pretty good. We have seen him very competitive in other series that we saw that. Not only in the Atkinson Designs late models, which run on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you check that out. We also see Jacob awfully competitive in the Sterling Sim Truck Series we had a little bit back. So if Jacob McMillan wants to keep it competitive up here, he's going to have to keep trying because we see a lot of these guys are very quick. A little further back, we see Dave W. Thomas right now racing with Marshall Harris and Hunter Terpstra. He's got that new Cheesa scheme that I was mentioning earlier. It looks really good in my opinion. Still, we see him doing okay so far. Hunter Terpstra is actually riding pretty good. Look at that. Not too much damage. He was holding up the field a little bit earlier and got some bumps for it, but he survived. In any case, this is Jackson Qualley up in front. David Gibbs putting some pressure on. David's led a lot of this race, but wants that back. Ooh, wrong car there. There we go. So there's David Gibbs, and you can see the comparison between the Qualleys. See that Jackson and Dean are able to keep a bit better I rating and are currently running a faster lap than David is. But we see David there. Not only with that draft, he's moving pretty quick. Jesse Atkinson deciding that he does not want to stay in the rear anymore and moving himself up into a fantastic position now of 3rd place. Look at that. Jacob McMillan is catching right on up too. These guys are all going to have a big old fight for the lead now. That's David Gibbs with the fastest lap of the race coming in. Dean Qualley continues to lead. Make sure you check out Frankenstein Metalworks. They are our gracious series sponsor and has provided a lot of great custom home decor items to many people. You can check that out at facebook.com/Frankenstein Metalworks to see all the stuff that he does and how much of a great series sponsor he is. That's David Gibbs, though, on the bottom, taking away that lead away with Jackson Qualley on the outside. David McMillan riding that bottom, too. A little bit of contact just avoided there. As you can see right through Jesse now into 4th position. Jacob is coming up. That's Jackson a little bit slower. Can Jacob get by? Jacob diving down to the inside once more. That high line, like I said, is faster, but if they can protect that bottom, it might just be able to do something. All right, that's Jacob McMillan by. Jacob McMillan into 2nd position here at Bristol, taking that away from Jackson Qualley. Can Jesse Atkinson do it now? He's got the thing on the leaderboard. Can he keep it, though? That's the important part as we go over halfway into this race. About a 6 then. There it is. That's 60 of 100 here at Bristol. That's Jesse fighting with Jackson. He's keeping that bottom line a bit faster. That's Bryn George going to give a push. Who does he stick with? Does he stick with Jesse? Looks like he is. Which is, oh, as he shoots back up, that's a wiggle. Is Jesse going to fall back now? Yes, he is. No, not quite. You can see this three-way battle here. These guys are absolutely shooting for it. Jesse backs out, though. Gives a position to Bryn and Jackson, who are now going to be fighting for it. That's Bryn through their teammate, so it makes sense that Jackson's not going to fight him too much with 2K Racing. That's Bryn George up into your top 3. Jacob McMillan, though, and David Gibbs are absolutely running away with it. They are not going to take it from anybody and are going to run away with it as much as possible. Over a half-second gap, though, between David and Jacob. Hunter Terpstra looks like he had a bit of an issue. That's a front end missing. He's going to be a lapped car, and it's going to provide a little bit of interesting racing back here a little bit for these guys as they continue to race through, unless they just were able to shoot on by. No, there's Hunter still there. Looks like Bryn and Jesse are going to have to fight a little bit to see if the Hunter's going to cause it interesting. That's Hemophilia or... Nope. Shadow Racing. That team's gone defunct. Looks like they're both going to ride on through. Jackson Pauly with some more issues has really fallen back now. Looks like he burned up his tires trying to keep that lead away. Not able to keep it. Bryn George still riding in that 3rd spot. Has a big gap to Jacob McMillan, who in turn has a pretty big gap to David Gibbs. These guys are spacing out as they're riding up towards the front. Marshall Harris riding a bit back here, riding up that high line. Struggling just a little bit, but he's doing pretty good as he continues to race through. Ignore that. I don't know why my notifications are on when I told them to be off. In any case, it happens. We're still here. These guys are doing great. Now, with only 3 cautions so far, I'm impressed, honestly. Being able to hold it this long and really not cause issues, keeping up this many laps at Bristol. I know that there's only 9 cars in the field now. But still, that is something. Especially with how competitive these guys are. That's Jesse Atkinson. We see him in 3rd place, ahead of Bryn George, getting on the bottom line of that lapped car. If we get another caution, Dave W. Thomas is going to be your lucky dog. So he's going to want to keep that position ahead of Hunter. Alright, well, this is the point in the broadcast now as we're about to enter 3/4 in the way in just a few laps where I need to shut up and you need to crank it up. Well, I am back here now. It eases that volume just a little bit in case you cranked it. Jesse Atkinson was able to keep that third place position. That's Hunter Terpstra spinning down low. Keeps it out of everybody. All right, Jesse Atkinson maintains third place position, gaining on teammate Jacob McMillan. They are battling for second now. They have a big gap on Bryn George, who's a decent bit back now. They need to be careful. That's Atkinson to the outside, getting by his teammate. Can he hold it is the real question. I think so. That's Jesse Atkinson into second place. What a move. Able to get that high up. Awesome for Jesse. He started pretty far back in the rear and was able to get a great position. All right, that is the caution out, though. And that is something I need to go take a look at. So, thank you very much for sticking with me so far. It's been a great race as we enter into the final stages of this race with not too much left to go. Alright, so following along here as I open up the stream, there we go. You can kind of see what happens here. We're following along with that white number 21, Hunter Terpstra, as we come here. See what happens. Going through the backstretch, he loses it after getting into the wall. Collects Bryn. Bryn spins. And that's Bryn out into the field there. Gets into Jackson. What? And then Hunter just drives into Jackson. Okay. Yep, that's your caution there. And that's why that came out. Well, it's been a race so far. You know, we're in the ending stages of this races. We're entering lap number 85 right now. I know you can't see that up on the screen, but that's where we are. We've been on stream for about 40 minutes for this race. It's been a bit of a shorter race. A lot of drivers are coming into the pit for this last dash to the finish. David Gibbs was able to pit in early and got himself into a great spot, being able to maintain the lead. Jesse Atkinson will be behind him still. It's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this race plays out, seeing how intense we've seen it so far. These guys have been able to just provide huge gaps on each other, but also be really competitive too. You know, I just don't know what's going to be happening in these last couple of races. Is this going to start where all the cautions start coming out, or I don't know. It's going to prove it's going to prove interesting as we continue to race through at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. Make sure you check out Redbubble Store to get your homebrew mug today. They also have shirts, and we're going to be continuing the Atkinson Designs model for the moment, where you can get the late night blade model stuff and just some Atkinson Designs merch stuff too. So make sure you check that out, along with our other gracious sponsor, Racin Metalworks. Glad to have everyone on board that we do. It is massively appreciated. And, well, we're going to be going back to green soon, so I probably should open up the stream, shouldn't I? I don't know. It's been a great race, and thank you everyone for coming on out for it. So here we are. Not too much left to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Pace truck is about to come off. There it is. Pace truck is off. David Gibbs on the outside. Jesse Atkinson on the inside. Green flag, and away we go here at Bristol one more time, hopefully. We'll see as it goes out. That's Jacob McMillan off to a fantastic start. Will Cloud off to a great start too after he had his early race issues. Looks like he's able to shoot up now into fourth position. Absolutely coming back. Jesse Atkinson, though, is going to put some pressure on to make sure that Will does not get through that easily. David Gibbs has been dominating this race, able to keep that lead. Jacob McMillan saw him come in for tires earlier, but so did David. What is that going to prove for your last couple of laps? Who is going to be able to push it, not only with the least amount of fuel, as they are running 60% fuel, but who is going to be able to just take it away? That's David Gibbs with your fastest lap of the race so far with those fresh tires and low fuel load. Jacob McMillan able to keep that gap just a bit more as he rides up in second place. Jesse Atkinson in third place. Will Cloud in fourth. These guys need to battle it out to see who can get it. Looks like Bryn George is a lap down. He's going to be your lead car a lap down after those unfortunate incidents. Marshall Harris is the only competitor to Will for the moment. He's got to be mindful of that, but it looks like he's pretty far back. Going up to the front there, you can see Jacob McMillan making some moves on David Gibbs. Only less than 10 laps left to go here at Bristol. David throws that block to make sure he can't get through. He's getting attacked by two Atkinson Designs. That's a spin almost we saw out of Jacob McMillan. He was able to keep it. Now he's going to slow up Jesse just a little bit. Is this the right way to go? I don't know. You got to be careful. You don't want to eat up those tires too much. You can see that rubber compound building up towards the top of the racetrack. You don't want to have too much of it. David Gibbs going to be blocking that down low line a little bit, as Jesse Atkinson is now going to be the main competitor against David Gibbs for the moment. What a race this is going to be towards the finish. Not much left to go. We've seen David Gibbs absolutely destroy this race so far, but Jesse Atkinson, starting pretty far in the rear, has decided that he is going to be a race-winning contender. All right. What a race. Will Cloud, bit further back, not quite able to be competitive against your top three up here, but after recovering from a lap down, that's pretty good. David Gibbs now pulling away a bit more. But you got to pay attention to these. You know, what is it going to turn out to be? 5 laps to go at Bristol. David has a lead, but it's a pretty narrow slim for a short track where even just the slightest mistake can put you way far behind. Keeping that momentum is the thing that they're all going to have to be keen on here. David Gibbs with, wow, so little left to go. 3 to go. Can David keep his lead? He's been super competitive this entire time with that cheesy Berber on the back there. I know that there's an Atkinson design sticker, but he is an ERA Sim Sports driver. Ooh, man. That's going to be a 0.7 now, 0.8 almost gap to Jesse. I think this is almost in the bag for David Gibbs as we come across one more time across the start-finish line. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Who's going to get this? Over a second back, though, I don't think Jesse's going to get this one. Absolutely running away for it. After multiple runner-up positions in the Sterling Sim Truck Series, but he is now able to score a win in the Frankenstein Metalworks Cup Series. That's David Gibbs, your race winner. What a finish. Was able to just gap his opponents. Jesse Atkinson coming up in second. Looks like everyone wants to cause a big wreck at the end as usual. Not surprised. What a finish David has, though. Looks like he's sadly going to be losing his front to that one, but what a finish. I don't know if that could have been any better. Jesse Atkinson is going to be a runner-up with Jacob McMillan riding in third. Will Cloud fourth. Marshall Harris fifth. Jackson Qualley riding in sixth. Bryn George seventh. Hunter Tripshire eighth. Dave W. Thomas is going to be riding in ninth. David Ackenbauer in 10th. And Jose Benales is going to be your last place finisher. Get that burnout, David. If your car has the power to do it, of course. There he goes. Eat them tires up. Great finish he got. Still, that is phenomenal. I'm glad that he was able to have such a fantastic race as we continue throughout the night. Jesse Atkinson, your second place finisher, also very happy. All right, let's see. We need to have an interview with Jacob there, but I don't think he's in our Discord for the moment. So, okay. We're going to bring Jesse Atkinson up with us. Jesse, it's Noah up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my coffee.
All right. What a race you had. You were almost a race winner there. What happened on the last couple laps?
I didn't have such a great restart. One of the tires got stuck on the low side there. Then I tried my best to catch up to them. Well, and yeah, I just burnt them up and asked too much of old Glenda. So, but I'll settle for second place. I normally finish behind Jacob, so I'm glad I finished in front of him for this race.
I was gonna have to say something about that. We've seen Jacob beat you, even if it's even by just a single position, so many times, but you were actually able to take it away from him this time.
Oh yeah, that was my entire goal for this race. Just beat Jacob. So.
Where is Jacob, by the way? I saw that he's not in our Discord.
No idea. He just, I don't know actually.
Okay. In any case, that is a fantastic finish. How are you feeling with that, though? I mean, I know you're happy that you beat Jacob, but...
Oh, yeah. I definitely liked it, especially from the said other league finish that I had yesterday. This is definitely a way bigger improvement from that.
I suppose so. Getting yourself into that great position as you're reversing through the track now.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time up here. Is there anyone in the audience you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad. I think he's watching. Maybe a few of my friends. Don't know if they're watching. Gotta thank Accent Designs and the Accent Designs team. ERA Sim Sport, Homebrew Racing, and you for broadcasting.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be here, Jesse. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Jesse Atkinson, and he's continuing to just drive through the racetrack, not being the brightest, but it's okay. He's having fun. All right. Let's get David Gibbs up here, your race winner. All right, David. This is Nope in the booth. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. What a race finish you had.
Indeed.
You were able to gap Jesse there right at the end. What happened?
Well, if I'm being 100% honest with you, that was the plan the whole time. I was just gonna give him a little taste of it, what it's like to be behind the cheesy Berber car, and then just start pulling away because I knew that I was faster than him.
That is probably the most torturous taunt ever.
Well, I just wanted to try to get him to burn up his own stuff, just
Well,
to give me a bigger caution.
well, I think you definitely succeeded there, as now he finished, almost 2 seconds back?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow, still, what a gap you had. It's still impressive either way.
Thank you.
Wow, still great. What a race win. What was your strategy throughout the rest of this race other than taunting Jesse at the end?
I gotta say, that's just about it. No, I'm just kidding. I knew based on qualifying and based on practice, I was probably quicker than just about anyone in there besides Jacob. Jacob was my main concern, and once I saw that he got taken out or he got wrecked in some way, I knew that it should be just a nice coast as long as I stay out of everything.
Well, you did a pretty good job about that, but what about Jackson Qualley, who earlier in this race was able to really top you? What happened there?
I was just kind of staying behind him, see what he would do, see what he could do. Trying to make him make a mistake. I wasn't really planning on passing him since it was so early, but try to force him to make a mistake.
Gotcha. Do you feel like that worked out in the end?
I believe so, because I ended up using the legendary technique that you yourself has taught me, and using the bottom to pass.
Come on.
It seemed to work out pretty well.
Yes, as I said multiple times in the stream, you have to run that top line to be faster, but it looks like the bottom line does sometimes work.
It did.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone in the audience you want to thank tonight, David?
Well, I'd like to thank ERA for this wonderful position in this race car. I'd like to thank you for the broadcast in this wonderful face cam, by the way. I'm getting all dressed up for it with this exciting event.
Gotta do it. Gotta
thank Cheesy Berbers,
of course,
for existing, giving the inspiration. I reckon that's about it.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, David. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right. Well, that is going to be towards the end of our stream here tonight. I'm so happy that everyone was able to be here. I do appreciate all of you coming out. And thank you for all the comments I've seen in the chat about the dressing up I've done. I got to throw that tie on. I'm sorry. Just got to do it. Well, I'd say it's pretty good. Just under an hour stream. I know it was a bit short for what we had, but it was Bristol, and we weren't sure how many cautions we were going to have, and really wanted to make sure that we could really have a good competitive race, and I think that we absolutely succeeded in that. I'm happy that everyone that did come out was able to get a good finish. Let me put up the finishing positions here. I know that Chris is gonna kill me if I don't. So, kidding, of course, but there we go. Those are the finishing positions there. David Gibbs up in first place, 2.5 gap just about to Jesse Atkinson in second place. 71 laps led. Insane. 6 spots up though for Jesse Atkinson though. Great spot for him to be though. Jacob McMillan running in third in that 99 machine. Will Clouth in fourth. Then Marshall Harrison fifth. Jackson Qualley sixth. Bryn George seventh. Hunter Tripstra is going to be in eighth. Dave W. Thomas finishes ninth. Jose Benales 11th. And I don't know why that is messed up there, but David Ackenbauer in 10th. Well, that is going to be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all once again for coming out. I do appreciate it. Make sure you check out our gracious series sponsor, Frankenstein Metalworks. I appreciate you, and I see you in the chat there. Thank you very much. Make sure you check out our Redbubble shop to get your homebrew merch today. And that's going to be me. I've been Noah Walter, your broadcaster from twitch.tv/4cloak, and I'll see y'all next week.